Okay, class, picking up where we left off at. We're on problem number 4. It says Joe drove 300 miles and his car used 12.5 gallons of gas. Find the fuel efficiency for his vehicle in miles per gallon. So, what we would take here is the amount that he traveled divided by how many gallons he has. Now, this is after the division sign, this decimal, so we'll move one decimal here to the right to make this a whole number, and we'll move this decimal one place to the right. So we will have 125 going into 3,000. Now, 125 goes into 300 two times. 2 times 125 is 250. 300 minus 250 is 50. Bring down our 0. 125 goes into 500 4 times. 4 times 125 is 500. And we have no remainder, so it'll be 24. You could write mpg, or you could write out miles per gallon. And that is the final answer. Now, we go on to the next page. It says change it between fraction and decimal forms. To change the decimal to a fraction, use the place value to determine the denominator, then reduce to the simplest form. Examples: find the simplest form fraction or mixed number for each decimal. Okay, so now we want to change this to a fraction. So we have 0.6. This 6 is considered to be in the tenths place, so this will be 6 over 10. Now we simplify this. 6 and 10 both has 2 in common, and that would give us 3/5. Now we have 2.59. Now 2 would be the whole number. This decimal, we look at the last place value. The 9 is in the hundredths place, so your denominator would be 100, and your numerator would be the 59. They have nothing in common except 1, so your final answer is 259 over 100. Now we come here, we have 0.525. So we know, first of all, that this goes to the thousands place. So our denominator would be 1,000. Our numerator would be the 525. Now we simplify this. We divide both by 5. Our denominator would be 200. Our numerator would be 105. Now we can still divide both of these by 5. Our numerator would be 21, and our denominator would be 40. 21 and 40 has nothing in common, so this is the final answer. Now we go here. We have 0.0004. 4 is in the 10,000s place. So we'll put 10,000 in our denominator, and 4 would be our numerator. We could divide both of these by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 10,000 divided by 4 is 2,500. And that is our final answer. Now it says here, to change a fraction to a decimal, divide the numerator by the denominator. Some decimal forms will terminate in, while others will have a repeating digit or repeating block of numbers. Examples: write the decimal form for each fraction. You may use a calculator to do the division. So first we would set this up. We would take 20 into 7. Now we would have to put a decimal behind 7 and a 0. Now we take 20 into 7, goes 0 times, we bring up our decimal. We take 20 into 70, it goes 3 times. 3 times 20 is 60. We have 10 left, and we add a 0 and bring the 0 down. 20 goes into 100 5 times. 5 times 20 is 100. And we have no remainder. So our answer here is 0.35. Now we have 5/12. Now what we need to do is we need to take 12 into 5 and make that 5.0. 12 goes into 5 0 times. 12 goes into 50 4 times. 4 times 12 is 48. 50 minus 48 is 2. We will add a 0. Bring that down. 12 goes into 20 one time. 1 times 12 is 12. We have 8 remaining. Add a 0 here. 12 goes into 80 6 times. 6 times 12 is 72. And we have 8. And if we add a 0, we're going to end up, well, let's add a 0 here. 12 goes into 86 times, so we're going to keep getting 6s. So our final answer, we're using an approximation symbol here, would be 0.416 with a repeating decimal bar over the 6. Okay, now we have 3 and 8 over 11. Now listen, whenever you have a whole number in a fraction, the whole number always goes in front of the decimal. So let's concentrate on the fraction here. We would take 11 into 8. And we'll add a decimal and a 0. 11 goes into 8 0 times. 11 goes into 87 times. So 80 minus 77 will give us 3. Add a 0 here. 11 goes into 30. Let's see, 2 times. 30 minus 22 is 8. Add a 0 here, bring it down. 11 goes into 80 7 times. Now if you notice, we're repeating what we just had. So this will be 2. So if you notice, your repeater is 7 2, then 7 2, and it'll be 7 2 again. So your answer here, remember I told you, this whole number goes in front. So it'll be 3.72, and you have put a repeating decimal bar over the 72. And this would be your final answer. Now we come here, it says round answer to the nearest thousands. Okay, so we'll take 7 into 3, and we'll do our decimal here. Now, since they tell us to round to the thousands place, we would take our zeros to the 10,000s place, because we always go one place value over what they told us to round to. So this is tenths, hundredths, thousandths, so we'll go to the 10,000s place. So we'll bring up our decimal. 7 goes into 3 0 times. 7 goes into 30 4 times. 30 minus 28 is 2. Bring down your 0. 7 goes into 20 twice. 20 minus 14 is 6. Bring down your 0. 7 goes into 60 8 times. 8 times 7 is 56. 60 minus 56 is 4. Bring down our 0. 7 goes into 45 times. 5 times 7 is 35. And we can stop here. Now remember, we want to round to the nearest thousands. So we look at this 10,000s place. If this number is 0 through 4, we will leave this 8 the same. This number is 5 through 9. We will add 1 to this 8 and drop everything behind it. So since this is 5 through 9, we will add 1 to the 8. So our answer would be 0.428. It'll be approximately. And that is our final answer.